Hello everyone, good morning. Today we're going to continue the last lessons in biology for grade 8. Today's lesson is going to be about investigating photosynthesis. We already know, or what we took previously in the last lessons, that photosynthesis can only occur in plants. This is number one. Number two, what are the things that actually require to make photosynthesis? So practically the plant's taking carbon dioxide and water in order to give me glucose and oxygen. Okay, for now it's fine. Now I want to know what are the things that actually affect the photosynthesis. One of the important things is the concentration of carbon dioxide. How is that? We already know that two things actually affect the process of photosynthesis, which is the humidity, the amount of humidity, and also the carbon dioxide concentration. But how? The higher the amount of the reactants, and here we mean the carbon dioxide and water, the greater the amount of photosynthesis. What does this mean? That means as long as we have a large amount or a high amount of carbon dioxide and water, that means I'm going to have a greater amount of photosynthesis. That means, okay, if it was the other way around, like less amount of carbon dioxide and water, would I be still having the same amount of photosynthesis? No, I would be having a less sort of amount of photosynthesis. The next thing that we have is that the chlorophyll, which is the pigment, the green pigment inside of the plants or inside of the plant cells, which is occurring in chloroplast. What does it do? It absorbs light energy. That means the more chloroplast I have, the more light can be absorbed, so I can have more photosynthesis. Again, the chlorophyll, the green pigment that gives the green color to the plants, which it actually happens to be in the chloroplast. It absorbs light energy, and we agreed about that, previously in the last lessons. So the more chloroplast I have, the more light will be absorbed, and the more photosynthesis I will be having. Okay, so the last thing, or actually the last time, factors affecting the photosynthesis is the carbon dioxide concentration, the humidity, and also the chlorophyll in the chloroplast. The more amount of reactants, or actually the more amount of carbon dioxide and water, the more amount of photosynthesis will be going in this plant. The chlorophyll in the chloroplast absorbs light energy, so as much as I have more chloroplast, I will have more light to be absorbed, so it can carry more photosynthesis. The next lesson is exploring the movement of water and minerals in plants. Okay, as we took in grade 5, 6, and 7, that plants, they take in water and minerals from the roots. Because the whole structure of a plant, we've got the leaf, the stem, and the roots. What is the function of the roots? The roots here, they hold the plant steady in the ground or soil. And also, the root absorbs much more minerals and water from the soil to give it back to the stem, and the stem then gives it to the rest of the leaves, and so on. So the plants here take in water and minerals from the roots. The roots grow down to undergo to the ground to absorb much amount of water and minerals. The roots here anchor plants firmly into the ground. What does that mean? The roots here, they actually hold the plants firmly. That means it doesn't let it fall into the ground. Water and minerals move from the roots to the stem, and water in plants causes them to swell. Remember the last lesson that we talked about the stomata and the guard cells, and how the guard cells act as a gate to allow carbon dioxide in and out, the movement of gases. This is when the water in plants get inside of the cells, the guard cells here get swollen. By then what happens? They allow the movement of gases when they are bluffed and full with water. And once they shrink out, they close again. The stomata closes in hot conditions, you should be knowing that. And water can be lost from leaves through stomata. These are important points you need to know. That's why I've pointed them out in colors, because I know you like colors. Okay, so the stomata here closes in hot conditions. The second thing, that water can be lost from leaves through what? Through the stomata. The loss of water from a leaf, what do we call it? It has a term. It's called transpiration. So when you want to define the transpiration vocab, the transpiration is actually the loss of water from a leaf. And how does the water be lost? It's like it goes through the stomata. And the stomata closes in hot conditions. Now we know, here we have another sort of cells inside of the plants. It's called xylem cells. The xylem cells here, what are they? They are a pipeline which they exist through the plant. So what does this do, the xylem cells? It actually allows the movement of water and minerals through the stem in order to give it to the leaves. Okay. The roots here, at the end of the roots, they have extensions. Okay, have you ever, noticed when your father, comes home and he went, shopping for grocery, especially like veggies, like carrots, for an example. Carrots, at the end of the carrots, you will find, just tiny hair extensions, right? Those extensions are not totally roots, the first ones are roots, the ones at the beginning attached to the end of the carrot. But the further they go, the longest and at the end of the edges, they call them root hair cells. They are extensions, special cells, specialized cells. That means they have a specific task to do, a specific function. These are called root hair cells. They are specialized cells. What do? They expand furthermore into the soil to get more water and more minerals through the soil layers. Okay. And the last lesson for today, or actually the last lesson in biology for grade 8, is investigating the importance of minerals to plants. Okay, plants, we know that plants actually feed on material from the environment, right? But it's very important, plants don't survive on just water. They also need minerals to help them grow. Okay, what happens when a plant doesn't get the minerals? I'm sure there's a major thing happens. The first thing here, that plants will have poor growth, yellow leaf, and also not enough nitrates lead to that. So practically here, the plants don't just need water, also in addition to that, they need minerals. And those minerals, if they're not found, the plant cannot access to them properly, the plants will start having poor growth. You will notice the yellow, pale greenish leaf, and as if it's going to die. Why? Because not enough nitrate specifically, it's the lack of nitrate actually leads to this sort of thing. The plants with the little magnesium cannot make chlorophyll. Imagine that a plant cannot make chlorophyll. That means it cannot make the green pigment. So the green pigment here, or cannot make chlorophyll, is responsible of lacking or deficiency, which means don't have, the magnesium. And when it gives me a poor growth and a yellow leaf, that means I don't have nitrate. The third thing here, that when we don't have enough phosphorus, that means it causes me poor root growth and discolored leaves. Okay, in order to convert the protein, the glucose that we take and any source of energy, when we want to convert the protein here or any mineral to photosynthesize, the nitrogen element must be added. Why do we add the nitrogen to any sort of protein or mineral that we have? Why? Because here the element must be added, or the nitrogen here, to make nitrate. So the plants get nitrate because we said that nitrate here helps have a better growth and also healthy leaves. The major minerals that plants need in large amounts are called macro elements, and they are phosphorus, potassium, and nitrogen. Another thing, if you have, you tend to have a farm, or you know, some relatives or friends that they are farmers, or they harvest some crops back at their, farms, you would know that they add something called fertilizers. What are fertilizers? Fertilizers here are substance or material that actually can be added to the soil to make it better, to grow crops much more better. That means I'm actually improving the quality of soil to make it a proper environment for growing these plants. So fertilizers are added to the soil to make it better for growing crops or plants by enhancing the quality of the soil by means improving it. I've got a sort of type of fertilizer here. It's called NPK fertilizer. It stands for nitrogen, potassium, and phosphorus. Fertilizer or manure, which can be added to the soil. The manure here actually releases minerals very quickly and improves the soil quality by means I have long-term of effect. And this would be for all the biology lessons for grade 8. Thank you.